Dobro jutro. Hey, ciao, ciao, ciao. Ciao, svima. Martin Metalhead here. Hope you're going well. It is day number 30 of Vlogust. 2 days left of this vlogging challenge. I'm in Novi Sad, Serbia. And I'm leaving Serbia today to head on to United Arab Emirates and get on to Central Asia. It's a daunting challenge ahead because I've got 12 freaking hours at Abu Dhabi airport. I really don't want to leave the airport. It's too hot there. But at least I get another stamp on the passport, which is exciting. Yeah. So at the start of August, when I was doing this challenge, I didn't really see myself as wanting to get out of the UK. I remember on the 1st of August I had to come to work to cover for somebody who lost a mother, and then 20 days later I was like, hell with this job, I'm not working with these people, goodbye. Now, I wasn't really supposed to go abroad until at least Halloween, because I really wanted to travel around Africa. But then somebody gave me a voucher for £130 sterling. So for £130 sterling, I've gone from Belgrade to Abu Dhabi, and then Abu Dhabi to Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan. I've always been wanting to travel back to Central Asia in the last couple of years, because I was last there in 2017. I remember last year getting really depressed in my kitchen part job because the manager was moaning, complaining, and ranting about the bins going out too early. And he actually destroyed this garbage facility. We used to have a nice facility to keep the garbage, but then all of a sudden he rips it down and he's complaining what other people can see our bins. And literally that manager I worked with for 5 years is just he's a fucking retard. So I'm heading to the printing shop in Novi Sad to print my boarding pass. There are no internet cafes about, so if you really need a boarding pass anywhere in the world, you just have to try to find a printing shop. I'll print your boarding pass for maybe 20 pence or so, depending on what the job is. Just make sure you do black and white, because in Abu Dhabi, mobile boarding passes are not acceptable. They're you have to print this piece of paper and check it in. I'm like, but I'm already checked in online. And they're like, yeah, but you need to get a physical boarding pass. No, boarding passes don't accept. So literally, I can't really transit at Abu Dhabi because I don't have a proper boarding pass. All you need to do to print a boarding pass in Serbia, find a shop that says Fotokoprinka. Photo printing shop. Yeah, they'll print your boarding passes for 14 dinara. They're cheap. So these coins, they're not really going to buy you much here in Serbia, but I'm going to go see if I can find a homeless person, poor person to give it to. In Novi Sad, pretty much all the city is walkable. I mean, I've always walked from the bus station up north to my accommodation, where I stayed at. The thing is, Google Maps doesn't tell you anything about local buses. Hell, they won't even tell you about local trains. So literally, if you put in on Google Maps right now, Novi Sad to Belgrade, they'll just tell you that a Flixbus comes early in the morning. I'm like, okay, that is a good way to get between Novi Sad and Belgrade, but you're not really explaining the full picture, because there are many trains a day between Novi Sad and Belgrade. Same thing goes, there's many buses between Novi Sad and Belgrade. Hell, I mean, you can go from Novi Sad right now to Hungary, Croatia, And I don't think Romania though. Yeah. Lovely mineral water. It's my favorite. Here we are, back to Novi Sad station. Saved myself a couple of hundred dinara just by walking here. Just left my train behind. Cost me double what I paid on Monday. But then again, I'm killed for time. I need to get on a bus to the airport around noon. Even though my flight's not till 6 o'clock. I always like to be early for these things. So, the new train station of Belgrade, it's not really like city center, it's more like the south of Belgrade. Fortunately, you can't really be taking photographs there. They got a sign at the station saying like no photography. And I'm like, wow, what is this, like 1985 again? But like, I do understand how, like in some countries, like even in Uzbekistan for many years, you weren't even allowed to take photographs of the metro because, well, of various reasons, like because those metro stations in Uzbekistan are like really so deep underground. There it is. That's the iconic St. Sava Cathedral. Every time I come to Belgrade, it's actually still under construction. I've been like working on this for many years. I wonder if it's finished right now. Nothing like walking along the freeways, the intersections of Belgrade. Roads get a niche. There's even signs pointing to Croatia, and Croatia's maybe at least 3 or so hours away. Old-fashioned, tram trolleys still running to this very day. But me, as a frugalist, minimalist, I'm walking in the city centre today. Got a couple of hours to having a look around Belgrade before my flight onto the Middle East. Wow, what, 15 minutes of walk in the city centre? Not so bad, despite the fact these paths are not too good to walk on. Ever since I first came to Serbia 8 years ago, I always have a habit of buying these candy bananas. They're like, it's not really a actual banana, but it's like banana flavored marshmallow covered in chocolate. And this one is 9 dinara. So, I think maybe like 20p each, I guess. Not too bad for a tiny chocolate bar. Because literally, every foreign object in Serbia, like Heineken, or Mars, or Cadbury, or crap, it is just costs more than a local thing because it's got to be imported. So therefore, if you eat local stuff, like this banana chocolate bar, you'll actually save money. But all over the Balkans, literally everybody exchanged products. This is one of my favorite iced coffees in the whole of the Balkans. I first had this when I was in Bulgaria many years ago. You can buy this in Serbia, you can buy this in Romania, that's all of the Balkans. Good price though. Okay. I've seen the statue many times in Belgrade, but I literally keep forgetting that Serbia also has a two-headed eagle, just like Russia. But I mean, that eagle up there looks similar to the Russian eagle on their coat of arms. This guy was like, I think it was like the king of Serbia. He passed away in 1918, I believe. So he did see some action on Serbia was becoming independent from the Ottomans. Over across here, that building with the green top, that is the Serbian Parliament. And like these two buildings over here, they used to be like the royal palace when the royals used to be in charge. There's actually various palaces around Belgrade. There's one in the south. I tried finding the pretender to the Serbian throne, Alexandria, who was born in the UK. He does live in Belgrade, and he lives in that palace in the south of Serbia. But this one was like the king's resident, and then it's actually like where the prime minister or the president of Serbia lives these days. Here we are. That's the Parliament of Serbia. Even goes back to the old Yugoslav days. And also that church over there, I believe that's St. Mark's Orthodox Church. When I was in Belgrade many years ago, during the time of COVID, the head of the Serbian church passed away during my stay. And so literally all the flags were flying at half-staff. And this is like before I went back to Britain. Over there, that's the resident of the Prime Minister of Serbia. There was also a palace back in the day as well. Yeah. So that word up there in, I'm going to read in Cyrillic, that is P-O-Sh-T-A, Poshta. I don't know what that means in Serbia, but at least I can say another Cyrillic. Being British, I always have a habit of packing my umbrella. Fortunately, I didn't this time. Maybe I could pick one up, but carrying an umbrella is really complicated when you're traveling because the damn thing is gonna get wet, and you have to like bag it up in plastic bags, and it's just gonna be like a disaster to carry it, being big or small. I'll never forget one time I bought a poncho on my trip to Africa last year. Didn't even use it, but as soon as I came home in London, it was raining, I put it on as I left the station and walked home. McDonald's today? No thanks. Once the rain clears up, I'm going to find myself a shish kebab. Just enjoying a non-alcoholic beer, which when I came back to Serbia this year, I was kind of doubting that the locals wouldn't have non-alcoholic beers, even if they were importing 0% Heineken. But then again, there's always tends to be alcoholic-free beers in all shops, which is a relief for me. I'm not too sure what it's going to be like in Central Asia. I mean, Central Asia is a Muslim country, but it's not dry. You can still, people do drink beer, vodka and stuff, but for me, I'm kind of doubting that there won't be alcoholic-free beers in these countries. I'll just be like, nah, I'll stick to yogurt, I'll stick to what the locals drink that's non-alcoholic. Just been past the Jewish synagogue up there. I didn't really want to film in case it caused a bit of a catastrophe, because these days, synagogues are quite strict with being filmed. But for me, who is of Ashkenazi descent, it's always nice to connect with all the different synagogues around the world. I feel like next time I come back, in a couple of years, I'll attend a service on a Friday. But literally, like, I don't like wanting to visit synagogues and got bags and all, because that's more of a hassle. But I'm looking forward to connecting with the Bulgarian Jewish community when I get to Uzbekistan this week. It's my last couple of hours here in Belgrade. I'm just enjoying a sister vapi, 300 dinara. I always come here every time I'm in Belgrade for a sister vapi. It's like the first thing I eat when I come to a country, and it's not like the last thing I eat before I leave the country. So I'm gonna get the bus to the airport from like near the railway station. The old one, not the new one. It's either A1 or 77. Now, they cost 400 Serbian dinara to the bus there, so it's a good price, rather than paying at least 2,000 dinara. A few years ago, I was trying to find my way to the airport. I was actually like literally in walking distance, but it was just really complicated. So, hailed in a taxi, said take him to the airport, and I gave him 20 American dollars for his charge. Didn't have any dinner on me, just US dollars. I thought, you're a good man, you've helped me out. Please take this as a token of my appreciation for your countryman and woman, and what a lovely time I've had in Serbia. I was in Bosnia earlier this year, just in the Republic of Srpska. I was touring with a Serbian man. He was showing me all these different border disputes between the two countries, between Croatia and Bosnia. I really want to go back to Bosnia someday, because Sarajevo is a really nice town, but there's other parts of the Republic of Srpska, like Banja Luka, that I've never been to before, and I thought that would be quite nice. You know, when life gives you the shit, go to the Balkans. That's what I always do.